Hey, welcome to the Keep It Cute Show. I'm DaKiya.
And I'm Sabrina. And today we're going to talk about the transformative power of second chapters.
Yes.
Whether that's, new loves or the beginning of a new career. But we're talking about those moments in life where things change. And you have to embrace that change and navigate that change. And to help us with this conversation today, we have Miss Chanelle Burt.
Hey.
A dynamic woman with a diverse set of experience. She is a mom. She is a wife. She is a trained electrical engineer. She's an entrepreneur. She's a healthcare advocate, and she's a women's empowerment leader. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you here.
So excited to talk to you about all the things. But before we do that, we like to start with a little icebreaker. Okay? So our icebreaker for today is, if your life was a soundtrack, what song are you today?
Oh my goodness.
What song would you be today?
What would I be? I would think, what is the is it Mama I Made It by Tiana Taylor? Is it that song? Tiana Taylor song?
I don't know it.
Yeah, we made it.
Oh, but I like the way okay.
Right. I don't know it, but I like it now.
I'm gonna play it after this.
Yes, I have to pull that up for you guys to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that song because it's like, even though you've made it, you haven't arrived. So you gotta listen to it.
Yeah. And I like Tiana Taylor, so I'm gonna listen to that.
You gotta listen to that. I think it's called "I Made It" or "We Made It," "Mama We Made It," something. We made it.
Well, Mama, we made it.
We made it. You go, sis. What's yours?
So I would have to be Janae Aiko, "Born Tired."
Oh, okay.
Right now, because today I am tired. This week has been weekend.
Yeah.
Doing all the things, all the jobs, having the social life. Mama is tired.
Yeah.
So, born tired.
Yeah.
Mine's similar. I was gonna say "Kick Push" by Lupe Fiasco. Who's like, just kick, push,
Yeah.
kick, push. Because it's been one of those weeks where I'm like, okay, Serena, just keep pushing, just keep kicking.
Right.
Hopefully you can coast eventually, you know what I'm saying? But that's where I'm at. It's just like thing after thing after thing, which I usually love. Like, I like being busy, right?
Yeah.
I like being busy, but it's sometimes when things are back to back and you don't have the time to rest, it just kind of feels like... So it's a kick push kind of week.
And that's why I said we made it, because this last week or so, I feel like I made it. You know what I mean? It's like
you made it through. You're like,
to take a breath.
Yeah,
I made it through all these things that have been going on. So when you talk about all the things. Yes, we made it. We made it to have this drink, this glass of wine.
We deserved it.
Oh my goodness, yes. We all made it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, there we go.
Eye
contact. All right, so let's get into it. So can you tell everybody a little bit more about yourself, what it is you do, where you come from, your zodiac sign, if you're into that, and your journey?
Okay, so I am Chanelle Burt. Once again, I am all of the things. I am a multi-dimensional woman. I love saying that, because I think a lot of people think they can only be that one thing. Like you said, I am a wife, mompreneur. That's how I put it together, because I am a wife of almost 14 years.
Oh my goodness.
Hey.
Divorced, remarried. I have 4 very active kids. I'm a travel-based mom. I'm a track mom now. I am a trained electrical engineer, like we said, but I've been in the direct selling industry, network marketing, for the last 17 years.
Wow.
Yes, but that has allowed me to start a women empowerment network and lifestyle brand, W3, Women Winning Worldwide. And I am all about women winning. That's why I'm so excited to be here. I love women winning. I love women really stepping into all of the purposes that God has given them, because I believe it can be more than one. So that's me. I'm from Baltimore, born and raised.
Okay, Baltimore in the house.
Okay. Baltimore.
Yeah.
Went to Morgan State, and I am a Cancer. Okay, let me throw that out there.
Water
July
sign.
Cancer.
Okay.
And so that is me. I am all of those things as a woman.
Yeah.
I am a daughter, a friend. I am a sister. I am all that. I am a Delta.
Okay.
So yes, I am all of that. So that's Chanelle Burt.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the transitions that you mentioned. You talked about the different types of jobs you've had. You talked about a new relationship. Talk to us about those transitions. What's that like?
Oh my goodness. So number one, when I was an electrical engineer, I got involved with the direct selling industry. from a friend. A lot of you probably have heard of network marketing before. One of your friends calls you, introducing you to a company, telling you got to sell something. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that part. But I was introduced to this concept of residual income. And it was exciting to me because residual income gave you time and money together, something that I was not used to. Well, started having success in my business, and I was just doing it part-time. And I made a decision to leave my full-time career as an electrical engineer. So after about,
I know your mama was like, "What are you doing?"
My mother could not believe
what you doing?
Okay, yes.
What
but
you doing?
You know what? Because my mom is an entrepreneur, and I watched her be self-employed all my life, I said, well, I'm just going to do what you do, right? I'm just going to
be she can't argue with that.
Yeah, she can't argue with that. But she said, well, what about your benefits? She knew nothing about that.
Yeah.
Because she was always self-employed. And I said, well, I'm going to just pay for my own benefits.
Right.
Like you, right? But that big transition, it was kind of scary in the beginning because I was betting on me.
Yeah.
I was really betting on me. I was going all in. My husband is a big poker player. So, I was all in with me. And that was kind of scary though, because I didn't have a plan B if it didn't work. I just knew I was going to make it work, because a lot of people say those things, quote unquote, don't work, but they all work if you work it. And I was just determined to really create the life that I wanted. I didn't want to have to answer to anybody for the rest of my life, and I wanted to just take a chance. It was a big chance that I took, walking away from engineering. And so I did it. So that was a transition. Another one was getting divorced. Right?
Yes,
getting
I know about that.
Making that decision to be single with a kid as well.
How long were you married in your first marriage?
So technically 5 years.
Okay.
Technically 5
That's
years.
a long time.
It's a long time. But for about 2 of it, I kind of wanted out, Okay. But I didn't know how to make that decision. What's so crazy is I went to a convention one time, and it was for my part-time business, and there was a gentleman on stage, and he said this, and I hope you guys can take something away from this as well. He said, until the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing, then you will never change.
Absolutely.
And I had to sit back and think, man, how bad am I going to allow things to get before I do something about this? Right? Not saying it was, a really bad marriage. We just grew apart. We grew apart, and I just felt like that decision to walk away was best for my daughter at the time, both myself and her.
Were you a young wife?
So I got married I was in my 20s.
Okay.
I was in my 20s when I got married and had my first child, but I just thought that decision was going to be more beneficial for her long term than us trying to work it out in front of her and her really not seeing us being happy.
And what a healthy relationship actually is.
Right. Because I see so many times that people just stay together because of the length of time that they've been together.
And the longer you're together, the harder it is to walk away.
Exactly.
What I liked about what you just said is that, you're like, it wasn't that he was just like this unreasonable, mean, or whatever kind of guy. It was just that he was no longer the guy for you.
We just grew apart. We grew apart. We just had our differences, and I just thought, man, let's end things now so we can be cordial for our daughter instead of us hating each other.
Yeah,
you know. And we had her. So
how did your community respond to that, right? Because
goodness.
like sometimes especially among those women, you're supposed to stick it out. You know what I'm saying? Stand by your man, work on it, do all of that. Like, there's this expectation for women to stay in it and work through the problems. There is no out. There's just, you stay in it. And so, but you kind of are countercultural in that way, Chanelle. So I want to ask, how did your community, did you experience that in your community, and how did you deal with that?
It was tough because you have to, for me, I had to really be okay with other people's opinions. And a lot of times we're not, right? So in the beginning, why I stayed longer than I wanted to was because I was afraid of being the one to end it, right? Like so many people probably
You were worried about being labeled?
I was worried about being labeled. I was worried about what people were going to say, what the stories would be. He would have one side, I would have another side, right? But I can say that there were two different sides because I allowed it to be. I didn't know how to communicate back then like I know today, right? So whatever his side is today, it's okay with me,
right?
Because I know mine. But my parents are divorced, and I kept saying I'm never getting married and then divorced, right? Yeah. Nobody gets married to get divorced.
Exactly.
And so because I was from that type of background, but he wasn't, I knew he would never end it. I knew because of his family culture, you just stayed. Like you just
so his parents were still together.
They're still together. Yeah. His family still together. No matter what, happy, unhappy, doesn't matter, right? You just stay. So I knew he would never end it. So it had to be me, right? But I had to just be okay with whatever was going to be said around me. Right. I had to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I needed to be happy for me and my daughter.
Yeah.
And it was only going to be if I made a decision, which was tough.
So what was it like going to be single again after being married for 5 and together for however many before then? What was that?
I didn't know what it was going to be like, right? Because we were living out of state. All of my family was in Baltimore. I said, you know what? I need to go back home. I moved back with my mom. It was me, my daughter, in my old bedroom.
Oh, wow.
At my mom's house. Even though I was the engineer, I was making good money, all of that. But I just had that safety net of being with my mom, right? And then I just decided, you know what? It's time for us to go. But I wasn't single long. I wasn't single long.
How did that work? How did that happen?
Oh my gosh. So my now husband, he was actually my mentor in my part-time business. And we always say don't date the people in your business.
Right.
But it just so happened that when I decided to get divorced, we were already friends. We were working together. We were on the same page with a lot of stuff. And we just clicked. And so once I made a decision, and I was actually served with papers. Like, what? Isn't that crazy? Like,
right. Wow. Yeah.
I was the one served. So that's a whole nother story.
You called it, but he served you.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
that matters. I'm petty like that too. Right.
She got served with papers.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
was like, what?
I think it was a scare tactic at first. But it's all
power
good.
play.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's all good. But it just worked out that we were friends. We were on the same page with a lot of things. He had actually just ended a relationship, said he wanted to be single. I wanted to be single, but it just didn't last. And here we are, man. I got divorced. I got engaged, 2 years later?
Oh, wow.
And, then we were married. I got engaged in January. I was married in September. We're coming up on 14 years.
Oh, my goodness.
We now have 3 kids together, and my oldest daughter. So, God worked it out. God gave me a second chance. I tell everybody that. It was a second chance given by him because I didn't think I was going to get married again.
Yeah.
I was the one saying, this isn't for me.
And how was it blending the family? Because you already had a young child meeting your new partner. Did he have children?
No, he didn't have children. And he was the one that would say, I'm never dating someone with a child.
Yeah.
But it was okay because my daughter was only 9 months old.
Oh, wow.
She was very young. She was 9 months old. And her dad decided he took a job away with the Army Corps of Engineers. So he was away like on a contracting type of job for almost 2 years. So it wasn't as tough as it could have been because he was kind of
present.
away.
Yeah.
Although he is very, very much active in her life today. But in the beginning, it was just that distance. It didn't make it as tough as it probably could have been.
Yeah.
So that was a blessing, actually, in disguise, I guess. Yep.
So your new partner just kind of stepped in and was like, all right.
Stepped in.
I love that. Because I feel like when you really love someone, you're going to love their children. You embrace and accept their children. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we came as a package. So it was kind of a no choice type of thing. If you're going to have me, you're going to have the both of us.
A 9-month-old, though.
I know.
That's bottles and diapers still.
And midnight feedings, right.
That's like he jumping into like the deep end.
I know. It's so unbelievable. Even when I say, sometimes I used to feel bad saying, he's been in her life since she was 9 months old. Yeah. That's early, right?
She doesn't know anything different.
She doesn't know. But I knew I was going to get divorced when I was pregnant with her.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
But, you know, things just happen. I lost a baby before her. I wanted to try again. And things just wasn't right when I got pregnant. And I just said, it just doesn't matter at this point. Like, we're going to have our kid, but we got to do what's best for us.
Absolutely.
That takes an incredible amount of strength, Chanelle. Wow.
Courage.
Just like,
Yes, strength, courage, prayer.
Because there's just so many women who are like, well, I'm pregnant, so let me just stay because I'm pregnant right now.
I need the help. I need the assistance, the support.
And you said you were not even located in your family at the time making these decisions. That's that's bold.
It's very bold. It's very bold, but it has been very beneficial.
And it paid off.
And it has paid off.
Yeah.
For us, our situation, it has definitely paid off. My daughter has 2 dads.
Yeah.
And it is a very special relationship that she has with the both of them. And it's been a blessing for our family. So what could have went completely different really turned out to be a blessing for all of us. So she really has the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You know, and she gets to see a healthy relationship, not just us trying to stay together for her.
Right. Not trying to just fight it through. Because then she needs to see that this is not what I need to be in.
Exactly. Because I learned from my parents what I did not want.
Yeah.
I learned what I didn't want. I learned some things that I did, but I learned from what I didn't want.
Right.
You know, because once again, my parents are divorced.
So for the viewers who may be in a similar situation as you, where they're like in a situation, whether it's work or personal, right? Professional or personal, and they're like, man, they feel like there's a transition needs to be made, and they're trying to figure out, is this a phase? Am I feeling like this right now? Or is this something I really need to act on? Can you talk a little bit about how you knew it was something that you just needed to act on and it wasn't a phase, you weren't going to get over it? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I'll tell you, I got to a point where I couldn't cry anymore. Like the tears wouldn't come anymore. So I knew I was done. You know how when you get into an argument, you can just become emotional, right? Yeah. The emotions weren't there anymore. So I knew the feelings had started changing. Once I got to that point, I knew it was over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just knew it was over. And once again, even though I was carrying life inside of me that was created between the both of us, I just knew it was over. And if I didn't take action, what was it going to be like for the rest of my life? Because everything you've ever done has you where you are today. You know that.
Very true.
Right? So every single decision that you make, it could either change things or it could keep you stuck in things.
Right.
And when you really pray about some things, I'm a huge believer and I know the power of prayer. And when you truly pray for clarity, when you truly pray for what God is telling you to do, then you'll get those answers. You know, when you are growing spiritually, you'll really hear from Him. Now, some people may say, well, God's not going to tell you to get divorced, right? Because that's what I used to think.
Yeah.
I used to feel like God doesn't promote divorce.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
That is something that you hear, right?
Yes, I can't do it. That's what really kept me there for longer than I wanted to. But I also had to start believing God doesn't want me miserable for the rest of my life.
I was about to say the same thing. Like, He might not want divorce, but He doesn't want His child to be hurting.
Right. So I had to ask for forgiveness for that. But when I look at my life today, my ex-husband is great. He has another son. He has a relationship. Myself and my family, we're doing great. So for anyone out there that is struggling with that decision, I would just say, just truly pray about it. Just pray about it and understand where the voices are coming from. Okay? Because sometimes we make decisions saying it's from Him. And it don't be really from us. Right? Yeah. Or it might be from a best friend or whoever. But really, really, you know, and that gut feeling too. We all know that
gut feeling, that intuition, is
also
also God's voice.
Yeah. So I would just say, truly pray about it, and just know God forgives.
Yeah.
And He doesn't want you miserable for the rest of your life.
Right.
Length of time doesn't have to determine your destiny.
Yeah, whether it's short or long, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. So God can give second chances just like he gave me.
So Chanelle, you talk about it like you were just like, I'm just going to do it. But did you face fears during that time? Like I know hindsight is 20/20, but like during that time, like what did it feel like? What were you scared of?
I was fearful. That's why I stayed for 2 years longer than I wanted to. Yeah. Because I was afraid. But the biggest thing I think I was afraid of, not me being by myself, not being a single mother, not being lonely, not being any of that. It was really thinking, wow, what are our families going to say? What is my parents going to say? What are our friends going to think? It was really about caring so much about what other people think about you. Because we say this all the time. Who cares what other people think?
Oh my God.
But do we really care?
But part of us cares.
Right.
Part of us cares.
We really do care, right? I care what my parents think of me.
Yes.
I care what certain people think of me. And so I was fearful of that. But I also cared, what will my daughter think later on? What will she think, in regard to why her parents aren't together anymore? Why didn't we stay together for her? What is she going to think growing up based on the decisions that I've made, right? So I was thinking of all of that, and I didn't want her to think anything bad. I didn't want her to look at me bad. I didn't want her to look at me different, as her mom that left her dad and just split the family. I felt all of that.
Yeah.
But I just had to pray that she would see things for what they were. And I think she does. I really do think she does. So that fear, it was always there. Until I just said, you know what? I got to do this.
Yeah.
I have to just step out. Once again, bet on me. I had to just bet on me and just go for it.
And jump out the airplane without a parachute.
Yep. I just had to do it.
I appreciate your honesty, because I think sometimes people like to say, oh, I'm scared of being alone, or I'm scared of being a single mother and stuff like that. And that is true. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's parts of that are true, right? But then I don't think people really are honest about how much the perception of others is what really drives them or changes them or makes them make decisions, right? So I appreciate you saying that and not downplaying that piece of it, because I think that in today's day and age where there's a spotlight on everything, especially if you're out publicly facing
social
we are,
media.
Saying then it's even heightened. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you said that, and that's so real. Yes, all those things, but this one thing, especially the people who are closest to you, were the thing that made you the most fearful.
Friends.
Yeah.
I used to think our mutual friends, they probably hate me now.
They're gonna choose his side over mine.
And especially because I moved on, which seemed to be fast for those outside looking in. But for me, I didn't move on fast.
Right.
I was
You were done 2 years ago.
2 years prior.
Yeah, they're not in a relationship. They don't know.
Right. They didn't know
Same
that.
thing happened to me. Because they were like, and then she just went on the show, right away after she got divorced. I was like, well, it wasn't quite. We were separated.
Right. We were separated. We were all
of
that.
Deal with that too.
And I kept thinking, I'm like, man, what are they going to think? They're thinking this, they're thinking that. But I had to just get over it and just go for it and think about my best interest. We say people have your best interest out. No, you have to have your best interest at all times when you get to that point, right? So that was just me. So yes, that is so, so true. We think about that perception of others a lot more than we want to admit.
Yeah. And I think even now it's even worse because of social media, because everybody's in the comments that don't even really know you, and because we've all been kind of in the public spotlight a bit. We're getting people from South Africa and London and all in our comments on videos and stuff, and having a comment or a say or an opinion about your relationship, your outfits, with your weight gain, your everything. And so I know I can speak for myself. I definitely think about the perception of others. The perception that other people have of me, whether I'm posting something, whether I'm, making a decision of a life change for me, all of those different things really weigh into it. And like you said, why? Why do we care more about what other people think of us and their opinion of us versus how you feel being the one in the actual situation?
These people who aren't going to pay your bills, they're not going to sit there, they're not going to let you cry.
They're not going to dry my tears.
They're not going to do all those things.
They're not going to have a glass of wine with me.
They're so random, but yet we care. It's ridiculous.
No, this is a reality check for me, and you have no idea. This conversation is no, why do I care so much about what the comments are going to say, what the blogs are going to say, what the Facebook group going to say,
Yeah, and I've heard if people aren't talking, you're not doing anything, right? If people aren't talking, you're not doing anything, and you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
So people can talk, and that's where I had to get to as well. People can say whatever they want, but like you said, these are people that are not paying your bills, right? I've heard that so much. The opinions of others, they're not paying your bills.
Right.
They're not, taking care of your family. They're not doing anything for you, especially these social media people.
Yeah.
Right. So who cares? But it takes a lot to get to that point.
It does.
So how did you get to that point? What strength, what resiliency did you call on to say, you know what? Forget it.
You know what? Actually, network marketing. Direct selling. Work. Seriously.
So work?
Yes. My business. And this is one of the reasons why I think people will say those things don't work. One of the reasons why I think people don't stick with network marketing, although it has so many benefits to it, right, is that we have to overcome rejection a lot. People not wanting to support you, people not wanting to be a partner with you, people not wanting to get whatever product or service you have. The closest people to you, you think that they're going to support you, but they don't. The people that you are not close to, then they will. Like, it's just all of this different training that we go through, professional development, personal development that we go through. And that really gives us a backbone to keep going, right? We always talk about why are you doing what you're doing. When you focus on the reason why, the how to is easy, right? So network marketing, this industry has taught me how to be tough. And when I was pregnant with my daughter, that's when I started my part-time business. That's when I heard the gentleman on stage say that quote that I started off with. Because when I heard that, until the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change, then you will never change. It's like, how bad do things have to get, right? Who cares what other people are saying? How bad do things have to get in your life before you do something about it? Who cares what other people are saying?
I just got chills.
Right? Yeah,
good girl.
Cares, right? So that this industry has taught me so much, and it has really given me that tough skin to just keep pushing, keep going, no matter what people say. People thought I was crazy when I walked away from my job. Okay, what are you doing? You have an engineering career.
Right.
What are you doing?
Your benefits,
right?
your 401k,
you're this,
all
you're that,
that.
you're a 6-3, like this. And I'm like, I can have time and money together, building a residual income business. That's what I chose to do. Is it for everyone? No. Of course not. But neither is what you do.
Right.
Or what you do. Right. But the mindset training, the personal development that we get, it just helps you build more belief in yourself to know that you can do whatever it is that you want to do, what you aspire to do. And who cares what other people think? People are just who they're going to be, right? And they're going to have their opinions. They're going to have their thoughts, their opinions, their everything. But what do you want out of life?
Right.
Right? And if I don't want to trade places, physical places with you, then I don't need to listen to you.
Right.
Right? I don't need to listen to your advice. If I don't want your life, why am I listening to you? Like, if I don't want your bank account, why am I listening to you?
Yeah.
You know,
oh, that's good.
A lot of people don't realize that. But that's just the reality of the world that we live in. Like, why are you taking advice from people that you wouldn't want to trade places with?
That's so real.
Yeah.
And that's why they say that you should keep people, like, you should never be like the smartest one among your friends, right? Because you want the people who you go to, who you counsel with,
Who's pouring into you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because my husband and I, we always feel like we're pouring into other people. We had to be around people that were pouring into us to help us grow.
Yeah.
Right? And successful people in any industry, you will notice that they always talk about being around people that are better than them.
Absolutely.
Yes, more successful, more experience,
right.
everything.
You never want to be the big fish in a little pond.
Never.
You know, you want to make sure that you have the space to grow. If you're always in this small little area, you have nowhere to really reach to.
Yeah.
So when you're in that bigger pond, when you're in that ocean, you know, and you're seeing all these bigger fish, it's like, oh, let me try to do that.
Oh, yes.
Let
you
me
want to be around people that will help you think bigger.
Yes, dream big.
Yes.
Yes.
One of my partners, he used to always say, who are you hanging around that makes you think so small? You know? Because when we think about our circles, right? And I hope your viewers, or I hope you guys are thinking about this as I'm talking about it. Who are you hanging around right now that's helping you grow? That's helping you become better and bigger and dreaming bigger. You know, when I started building my business and my husband was my mentor, he used to always talk about buying a sports team. Right?
Okay. I love that.
What?
That's big. That's real big. That's big.
Yeah. Oh, that's another level of thinking.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. When you decided we're going to do this podcast, this is thinking bigger and stepping outside of your comfort zone that people don't do. When we started our talk show, that's something that people just won't do. Right? You're figuring it all out. But some people don't even want to take this first step.
Yeah.
Don't even want to take the first step. I saw something one day. It said, you don't have to take a leap. Just take the first step.
Right.
Some people think you got to just jump. No, just take the first step.
And it's okay to say you're trying.
And take another one. Yes. Just take one and take another one and another one.
It's all about the progress.
Yes. But when you are around people that are better than you, when you start hanging around people and their bank accounts are bigger than yours, yours will grow. When you start hanging around people and their mindset is just different from yours, yours will grow. So you just have to be in different circles, and it's okay. I had to learn that growing up in my business because you have your friends, you have your family, all of that. But I was just with some women not too long ago, and one of them, she said, you know, your day ones are great, but it's your day twos that are going to take you to the next level.
I like that.
You know?
And it's not schmoozing.
No.
It's not schmoozing. No. You know what I'm saying? It's like, part of it is networking and stuff like that, but it's really about, you know, expanding your horizons. Yeah. That's really what it's about. And it's hard to grow when you're you're staying in the same place. Yeah. So, because I think that sometimes people think like, oh, you're trying to social climb in a certain sense when you think about that. And it's like, no, you got to flip that on its head. Right.
Yeah, right.
It's not social climbing for like, just for personal benefit. That's a part of it. Right. But it's also a part, like, I want to just be around positive, productive people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, part of that is just inspirational itself. Even if you don't model yourself after them, having those people around, it just changes your mindset a little bit. You know what I mean? So,
and even like our friendship, like we're day twos, and you're from the West Coast, I'm from the East Coast. I would have never had some of her perspectives because I didn't come from where she came from. So us forming this friendship allowed her to see a little bit of my perspective, and for me to get a little bit more of her easy breeziness. You know,
and that shows up in the podcast. Like, we talk about things all the time. She's like, "Well, I don't know about that," and I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "Okay," and then I'll say, "I," and then we come to that agreement. So it definitely has
interesting perspective.
And different perspectives are great. And my kid, I like my kids to have different perspectives as well. That's why I love diverse cultures. I love diverse neighborhoods and schools and all of that stuff, because you can learn from other people something that you probably would have never learned from your peers, right?
Never experienced.
Look like you, dress like you, act like you, all of this stuff. But when you are around different people, even East Coast, West Coast, right? It's just a difference in how you were brought up. So you just have different perspectives on life. And you just never know how much of an impact that's going to have on your decision making later on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I always tell her, you know, I grew up in a neighborhood where, like, you know, it was predominantly white and Asian. You know, I was like the token black girl, you know, growing up, that's just the way that it was. But I am not uncomfortable being, you know, that token black woman. And it's because it's been that way my whole life. I can walk into any room and see that there's no one there like me, and I'm just comfortable. That's a byproduct of it. Do I wish that I had more black peers? Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. But I think that there's a level of confidence that I have because I had to grow in that circumstance. So, So I believe that. I think, and not only that, but like my food taste and my things that I love are so diverse. My palate is all over the place because I'm trading candies with people who are bringing them from like Japan and other places. Like, that's what my schoolyard looked like, right? So, you know, from a young age, my tastes are like all over the place, and it's like that as an adult. So I agree with you. Diversity is so important.
And that's how we have created our Women Empowerment Network as well. It is geared for all women. I've been in a very diverse environment over the last 17 years in my business, and it's just important for us to really learn from one another, right? It's important for us to see our strengths and our weaknesses across the board, so that we can help each other and help each other's communities as well, because we all bring something.
Right.
And so this being in a diverse and creating a diverse environment for people to grow in and thrive in, that's very important to me.
So talk a little bit more about your woman winning worldwide. Like, how did that start?
73. Yes. Women winning worldwide.
Right.
Okay. So I light up when I talk about this because
she really does.
Like literally.
So in most industries, they are male dominated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I was an
I'm in
engineer,
You know it.
Yeah.
I'm the only black woman.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So male dominated. This industry, to me, direct selling, and I'm a huge advocate. You'll always hear me talk about network marketing, because I know that it allows everyday average people to live extraordinary lives. You just have to bring your work ethic to it, right?
Yeah.
You just have to want to do it. So in my company, it took me about 11 and a half years, four pregnancies, but 11 and a half years to reach the top position in our company of senior vice president. And I became the first black woman to do it. Okay.
Wow.
At the time, we were in 27 countries. We've been around since 1993. But on my way to that position, I kept saying, how can I help other women, just women, rise through the ranks of our company, right? No matter if they were part of my team or not, how could I do that? So I decided to put together a call every Wednesday. It was called Women Winning Wednesday. And I still to this day call Wednesdays. It's Women Winning Wednesday. That's just how I feel. But every week I would let women come on this call, share their story, share their training on how they've achieved the success that they've had. So success means something different to everybody, right? For me, success meant I was walking away from my job. Some people, they can just, take their family to brunch every Sunday. You know what I mean? So it just depends. But every week for 4 years, I had this call just about every Wednesday, and hundreds of women got to share their story. Women that probably would never have reached a position to be able to be on a big stage and train and everything like I could. But this was my way of allowing them to share who they were, for them to be seen and to be heard, right? And for other women to be able to relate to them and say, if she can do this, I can do this.
Absolutely.
Not me that had already gotten to the top, but somebody that was on their way.
Yeah.
Right? So I did that. But then God told me, he spoke to me one day and said, this is not just about the women in your company. You need to showcase women in all industries that we don't know, that the world doesn't know yet. Because they need to be seen, they need to be heard. So I started Women Winning Worldwide, W3 for short. And so it's a women empowerment network and lifestyle brand where we really focus on 3 different platforms: a talk show, events, as well as apparel, where we really want to just empower, encourage, equip, and elevate women in these different industries, and get other women to aspire to be in these different spaces, but not having to figure out everything on their own.
Right.
So on social media one day, I saw someone talk about the stigma of black-owned businesses. And she said, I know there's this stigma out here, but for a lot of us, it's not the business. It's that a lot of us don't have mentors. A lot of us are just trying to figure things out. And I said, man, what if we had something where you don't have to figure everything out? You could have a mentor from afar.
Yeah.
So we have a talk show called Who's That Girl? Okay? Who's that girl?
Wait, we can't play that sample yet. We can't play that sample yet.
But Who's That Girl really allows you to hear the stories behind the women, behind the brand, the business, the corporate leader, the philanthropist, whoever it is, so that you can go out and do this too. Women need to understand it's not about competition.
It's not.
It's about collaboration.
We can win together.
And we can all
be at the top.
We can all be at the top. And let's reach down and help someone else
Absolutely.
get there.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's what our network is all about. And I'm so excited about this show because we have some episodes. We started on Facebook Live. Actually, we started on Facebook Live. We have some episodes on YouTube now. If you go to the W3 Network on YouTube and our social media handle, the W3 Network, we have everything there. But you can really see and feel the women behind the brand, behind their corporate titles, right? So you can get a feel for what they do, you get a feel for who they are. And all I think about is, during the pandemic, if we knew more about the businesses that are out there, these women-owned businesses, how many of them could we have saved?
Yeah, because that was rough as a business owner.
If we just had another point of contact, right? If we could just visually see what they do and hearing why they do it. Because I know through experience in my industry, it's not necessarily that people are buying your product or your service. They're buying you.
Yeah, people want to support you when they know your story. Yeah.
Right. So this gives women the opportunity to share their story and why they do what they do and how they were able to overcome a lot of obstacles for them to get to where they are today. How they're able to manage being a wife, mompreneur. You know, how are they able to do all of this? Because some people blow me away. I know I do a lot of things. I have 4 kids. I have a husband. And we're getting a dog. I don't know why we're doing this.
Whoa.
But how are they doing this, right? And so here we get to do that. And I'm so excited about this Women Empowerment Network.
Well, speaking of like managing it all, how do you manage it all and stay true to yourself, Chanelle? Like, how do you, stay centered in all of this?
So I do have help. Okay. So I have help. I cannot do all that I do by myself.
Okay.
My in-laws have lived with us for the last 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So my husband, his parents, they started living with us right before I got pregnant with my daughter, my youngest daughter. So my kids are 17, 12, almost 13, 10 and 7.
Wow.
And right before I got pregnant with my 10-year-old, my in-laws came to live with us. My husband was helping them out financially anyway. So we were like, man, well, they might as well live with us. They can help us. We can help them.
Yeah, it gives them some more purpose too. Yeah.
So I have a lot of help. We've had nannies at certain times. My husband has gotten me a chef at certain times.
Hey,
like,
I like that part.
I need a living.
You need a team. Right.
That's one of my goals. I just don't want to think about dinner every day.
Right. Oh, girl, exactly. Me neither.
I just don't want to do that. Yes, I don't want to take the time to think about dinner.
Grocery shopping, plan it out, and all that.
It just takes too much time. So I have had help, but my husband is a huge help.
I love that.
He's very supportive of everything, any and everything that I want to do. And he just holds it down when I need him to, whether it's helping at the house. I don't want to say helping because it's his responsibility, right? Yeah. But he just steps in when I need him to, and so it's been able to work for us. My parents are not far from us since I'm from Baltimore.
Nice.
My parents aren't far. If I need them, they're there. So I've had help. I cannot do all of this by myself, or I would probably be insane right now. You see this glass right here? But I will say, during the pandemic, I started I was drinking straight alcohol on the rocks.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Because I think the pandemic
affected just your coping mechanism?
Yeah, I think the pandemic affected a lot of people in different ways. But all of my responsibilities, and then now I'm a homeschool parent as well for all of my kids. At night, that's like me and my husband's time. We get a drink. We'll watch, like Sisters or something.
Right. Yeah.
That's our thing. But I started noticing I didn't need a chaser anymore. And I'm like, wow, like this is crazy what's happening to me. But that's just what I had to do at the time.
Yeah, I was going through a lot of wine myself.
Yeah, a lot of wine. So yeah, the help is necessary for me. I don't know how, like my heart goes out to like single parents.
Yeah.
Man or woman.
Right.
My heart goes out to single parents because I don't know how they're able to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm very blessed. I stay centered because I am a huge believer, and I focus on God. Like, I try to grow spiritually. You know, I really do. I try to grow. I have one-on-one Bible study with someone because I can't go to Bible study like on Wednesdays all the time. You know, like I just seek out what I am trying to do, right? And so that's just what I do. And I'm from Baltimore. I don't know how people from Baltimore, any inner city, can kind of lose who they are.
Right.
No matter what I have done, my heart is for my city. Like, I have just not lost who I am. And I think just my upbringing too has just allowed me to stay self-centered. Yeah. You know, and just hone it in when need be.
Well, girl, you doing it.
You are,
and you keep it cute.
I'm trying.
Come on, I love it. Absolutely.
All right, are you ready to transition to some game time?
Oh, sure.
Yes. So we like to do a little bit of a game. Okay. So today we're going to play a game called Sip or Spill. So we're going to ask you a question. You're either going to spill your tea. If you don't want to spill your tea, you got to take a sip.
Okay.
She said, don't threaten me with a good time. All right, so you want to start off?
Sure. So what is your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure. I would just say eating.
Girl, I heard that. Yeah.
Right. You know, I was just on vacation. I was asking people, do you work out on vacation or no? And some people were like, no. Some people, of course. I'm like, no.
I don't. I've started because I eat nonstop, especially with those all inclusive. Yeah. I'm like, I usually don't eat like that.
I walk from the bar to the room. That's not workout.
That's me.
Because I'm not eating that much. But like, it's hard for me to pass by food and not eat it. So I'm eating so much more than I regularly would. So I've started to because of that. Eat, but it's not like intense. Like, I just do something just to help me like feel better about myself.
It's always my goal too. I even pack sneakers. And then I was like, why am I packing these sneakers? I don't even know where the gym is on the resort. I'd have been in this resort 10 times. I still don't even know where the gym is.
Okay. You go.
All right. Who's your celebrity crush?
Man, who is that? Who would I say? Do I have a celebrity crush?
Well,
I think, you know who I think, which is crazy? I think Usher. Oh. I would say that because just like him. He's so like smooth.
Yeah, he's a smooth one.
He can move his body.
Come on.
And he's just sultry and seductive. Like, he's just that. All in one. My husband and I went to his show. Did y'all see his show in Vegas?
Oh my gosh, in Vegas, amazing.
I didn't see it, yeah.
And I'm going in August when he comes here.
Yes, right. I just like everything about him.
And you know what they say, a man that can dance.
I know.
Can do it. Come on.
I've heard that. But yeah, I would think, I guess I could say him because I just love everything about
he's so
the whole
talented.
Package. Yes, he's very talented as well. Yeah. So yeah, I would say him.
That's a good choice. We'll take it.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh.
I do not do karaoke.
Have you ever done it?
I have with my husband.
Okay, what'd you sing?
What did I sing? What did I sing?
Even some car karaoke?
What did I sing? So I would say any Beyonce.
Of course.
Any Beyonce.
Beyonce or Destiny's Child.
Yeah, I would say any Beyonce. I don't really do karaoke. I'm like, those people at karaoke, they think they superstars.
They do.
Like, this is not a talent show.
I don't do karaoke like outside of like houses. Like, I'm not going to a karaoke bar because they take it too seriously there. I'm like, no.
It's not a talent show. Yeah.
We're supposed to all be rookies.
Right. No, they going out there and auditioning for American Idol. I can't do it.
Right.
Like, yes, but my girl Beyonce, I'll sing whatever. Any note. Right. Drunken Love.
Yes.
That's my song. Have you seen the words though? So here's the time. So my family and I, we actually were doing karaoke in the house.
Yeah.
Christmas holiday. I picked Drunken Love.
As you should.
The words are on the screen. My husband's like, I'm singing to him, but I didn't realize the actual, you know, how you like a beat to something? Yeah. Like a beat first. I was reading those words and my family were sitting around and I'm like, I'm really talking surfboard and this and that. And I'm like, okay, like, yeah.
Yes. It's risque. I don't know if I can sing that to my man in front of my mom. I don't know if I can do it.
I would. Yes, that was a good time though.
So were you on Black Planet? And if so, do you remember your name?
I wasn't.
You were not.
You were not.
No, I was not on Black Planet. I wanted to be on that stuff, but then then the time passed and I didn't get a chance to.
It was a moment in history.
Were you on Black Planet?
I was on Black Planet.
You were?
I had the page all set up. My name was Diva Named Kiwi because my nickname was Kiwi.
Oh my God.
And so it was Diva Named Kiwi. Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit too young for like Black Planet, but I was like trying to look over shoulders and stuff. See what was going on.
Page set up, all of it. Yes. Good time was had.
What is your biggest regret in life?
My biggest regrets. Not leaving, not going away to college, not leaving when I really wanted to. And I hate to say that because I have my daughter because I stayed home and went to Morgan and met her dad there. But I've always wondered what would life have been like had I taken a chance and gone away.
Yeah.
You know, my mom didn't think I was ready to go away. I got more money from Morgan, so I stayed. And it just worked out.
Yeah.
But I wish that I left home.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I left home right after school. And who knows what my life would be like then. But, you know, here we are.
Here we are.
I have a blessed life. But I would say that.
Yeah.
Because throughout my growing up, I would always say, it was so crazy, I would drive past Morgan State. That's my school. I'm going there. That's my school. I'm going there. But when it came time to go,
you want to go there?
I don't want to go here. I want to leave. I want to get away from here. I need to get away. I need to get away. And that's why I moved away as soon as I graduated from school. Because
I did the same thing.
I wanted to get away.
Yeah.
But what would my life have been like had I left?
Yeah.
I know. I went to school 30 minutes from home. You know what I mean? Because of the parents' influence. And they're like, no, you need to stay close to home. They didn't think I was ready. I wanted to go to Texas A&M. Don't know if that would have been the smart move.
Right.
But just in all honesty. But like I wanted to like, you know, flee that area much earlier in life. So as soon as I graduated, I was gone. Yeah. And I've been gone since. So I'm like, see, if y'all would have let me go away earlier, I may have went back. But now y'all lost me. So there you go.
And I do the opposite. I'm born and raised in D.C. I'm a city girl, Southeast D.C., born and raised. But I went to school in Pittsburgh. And it was a complete different experience because D.C. is Chocolate City. I think I had maybe two white classmates my entire schooling. It was all black teachers, black people say they've never had black male teachers. I've had like 10. But then I had to decide if I wanted to go to Hampton or Pitt. And I was like, well, I've already kind of had the black experience. I wanted to go to a PWI, and it was a great decision. So I could have that experience that you had as elementary school. Yeah. And it was a culture shock. Yeah. I walked into my dorm room for the first time and they were hanging up a Blink 182 poster. I'm like, what is a Blink 182?
Oh, man.
What is a Blink 182?
Yeah,
we don't play that on 95.
Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yes.
He is still a fan?
Oh, yes.
I like him.
I am Ravens.
Oh, my God.
So it's rival season. It's rival,
Yeah.
football season. We love each other up until that.
I know that's right. Well, I'm with your husband. I'm a Steelers fan. Black and yellow.
You know, I grew up in a Steelers house. I'm like, there we go.
All right. So what is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you? Are you willing to share or are you going to take a sip?
Embarrassing. I mean, probably a lot of people's embarrassing moments getting so drunk that you lay on the bathroom floor and talk about the stars. Like you can see the what was that? It wasn't an eclipse or something. I remember being so drunk. I was laying on a floor, on a cold floor, butt naked, okay? Because I felt like that was the only way I was going to feel better because I needed the coldness on my body. I was talking about an eclipse outside, and this was not the year for that. Okay? So I don't know. I I think it was like, and there were people in the house. You know what I mean? So yeah,
that's funny. We've all had a moment like that.
Yeah, definitely alcohol induced. Yeah. Any surprising hobbies or interests?
What's probably surprising, and I want to know if other people do this, married couples.
Okay.
If they use sex toys.
That's a surprising hobby.
That's a
interest.
Oh, okay. I'm not mad.
I love it.
Yeah.
I got a top drawer child.
Listen, and here's the thing, but it's a surprising interest because it was very surprising for my husband for me to say, let's do this.
Okay.
You know? And other couples that I talk to, they don't do that.
So no, we don't use it together.
Yes.
But if I need to take care of something, he's not available.
I'm not talking about yourself. I'm talking about together.
Okay. Oh, I'm not mad.
I'm teaching you something new today.
Yeah.
That's a surprising interest. Using, yes.
Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, sis. No, she's not going to sip. She's going to spell. She's going to spell. Look at her turn red. Go ahead, spell.
I was like, we're about toys. We're about toys.
Yeah.
I was like, we're open to it. I mean, it's not. I think I always prefer him. That's like my preference. But to liven it up, make it different. Like, yeah, absolutely, girl. I'm there with you.
I prefer to.
Yeah,
I do prefer because if I'm there using it by myself and he's right there, I'm like, my brain is like, no, you right. Mm-hmm. But using stuff together, I'm very interested.
Mm-hmm. I know that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I love that.
It's good. I think it's good.
It's healthy.
For couples
it is good. It is good.
Keep it going. Keep it spicy.
I would think that might be a surprising interest.
It is.
And other people, I'm advocating for that. Other couples should do it.
Yes.
Together.
Y'all take that.
You hear that, husband?
Yeah.
Keep
it. Do you have any thoughts on the Drake-Kendrick Lamar beef?
I don't. I don't have any thoughts with that because I am so far removed from stuff like that. I'm like, why? Like, what is this? What is it really for? What are they really doing this for? Any beef that I see like that, I'm like, what is this?
Right.
It's been catchy though. I've been enjoying that, OVO. Like I randomly, you might just hear me say BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy. Yeah. It's entertaining. All right. My question, what is a recent TV show that you've binged? Are you a Bridgerton binger?
I'm trying to get on that.
I am, the last show that I binged was Sisters before I really got into it.
Okay.
Because I was like, what is this? So we binged that. My binging happened during the pandemic.
I think everybody
Other than that, I am not a big TV person. It's just a waste. I get caught up and I start getting away from all the things you gotta do. Stuff I need to do.
In pandemic, so I was binging shows and wine.
Yeah, so we binged that and like Kingdom Business, stuff like that. We were, and my husband, he's what is that? Ruthless. I couldn't get into that.
I don't know that.
Ruthless, like all the Queen's Men, all of that, like like a lot of Tyler Perry stuff.
All the BET Plus,
the BET Plus.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It's the BET Plus type stuff.
You are hilarious.
But those are the things that I have binged more recently.
Okay.
But now Sisters is getting ready to come back on. Did y'all see it? Do y'all watch it? Y'all
I don't watch it.
I am a Fatima fan.
Okay.
All of that. Yes, I love me some Zach and Fatima. But Sisters starts back in 2 weeks on the 29th. I told my husband, okay, we got a date the 29th. That's our thing. So we get something to drink. The kids are down. And we just, that's our thing.
That's cute. Okay, last question. If you could have one designer dress you, which one would it be?
Like you can't wear any of the other ones. You got to give away all your other ones. What's your one pair?
Chanel.
Of course.
You see the earrings. You see the name.
Chanel. No, of course. That's it.
Good answer.
Yeah,
Good
it's
answer.
a classic, of course.
All right. So can you tell everybody what you have going on, how they can reach you, how they can find you?
So you can reach me. My main page is I am Chanelle B, but please follow us at the W3 Network. Although I am a huge advocate of network marketing and a healthcare advocate as well, with our impact health sharing, which I didn't even get to talk about today.
Yeah.
We are saving so many people's lives with this. Follow us on the W3 Network, because this is really about women winning, and we want to educate people on the women that you do not know about yet. Yeah. We want to empower, encourage, elevate, and equip you to rise above your self-imposed limitations and really reach your individual successes through elevation as well. So please follow us at the W3 Network. You can go to our YouTube channel, the W3 Network, as well, so that you can see our show, Who's That Girl? We have some new episodes coming soon, and I can't wait. Look, I am going to have her as a guest.
Yeah,
so
I'll be there.
Can feel and see all that she does. You see her on this Keeping It Cute podcast, but you don't know everything that I know. So make sure you are following us, and yes, let's continue to win together.
I love that.
It's all about collaboration over competition.
Exactly.
I just hate when people want to compete, especially women, right?
Not necessarily.
So we have so many of us brilliant women out here that can bring so much to each other, and we just need to continue to uplift, empower, encourage, inspire one another to do more, right? We were talking about that, to do more. So I am so excited to be on this Keeping It Cute podcast.
Yes,
as we talked about so much today, I done taught you some stuff with you and your husband.
Come on.
And you know, I just love you guys. So thanks so much.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, this was so awesome.
You've been amazing.
So awesome. And yes, and look, God can give second chances. Right? The transitions that we talked about, although they are fearful, if you just take that first step, you will eventually leap. And taking that action can change everything. One thing, and I'll leave you with this, one thing can change everything. Always remember that.
Absolutely. Thank you again for coming. We really appreciate
it. Thank you so much for having me.
We hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Keep It Cute Show. We hope that you learned some things, are motivated and inspired, and not afraid to take a transition in your life. Have a great week. Make sure you keep it cute, and we'll see you next Thursday at 8 o'clock right here. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
guys.